All right, everyone. Hey there. How's everyone doing? We are almost through. It is the last one before happy hour, which is always the best hour of the day. I personally think so. So my name is Jennifer Borkowski. I am with Commend. We are a security communication company. Not sure if you guys have had a chance to stop by, but certainly do. So here we're going to talk about a few. We all know that security is something that looks really easy when it's programmed and all set, but it's definitely not as easy to get there, right? Between design and implementation and programming services, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of effort and time. But we have solutions that we're going to go over that make things a little bit easier for you guys.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Well, as you are security professionals, you obviously know that it's one thing to have a system design, an electronic system that meets your requirements, is well thought out in terms of your staffing, days of the week, contingencies that might occur, and to make sure that that equipment that you've purchased or want to upgrade in the future can meet your needs in a professional environment. Part of that is that no system is installed without a high quality furniture to put the products in or on. And I'm going to just spend a few minutes here introducing you to the Winsted products. Winsted's based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have some of our consoles in the Vistacom booth over next door. So I wanted to introduce you to the Winsted Corporation and to just tell you a couple things. We have a free design service, and we do some pretty complex designs, and we're very conversant with the types of equipment you need to put in or on the console, whether you have rack mount equipment, the size of displays, the distance of viewers' eyesight to the displays, and how that might change in certain contingencies, as I mentioned. So we do that for you, and if you can tell us how many operators you're going to have at a console, the make and model of the equipment you're going to want to put in and on the console, we can help you design, and we will design a system for you, including CAD drawings and whatnot, in a interactive way. We'll just do that with you, and then we can generate an actual design proposal for you, and we don't charge a penny for that. We want to make sure that whatever is designed in the way of a console does meet your needs, and that you don't get it in and go, oh, how are we going to be able to use this device, or how can we install, or this other device won't fit in the console equipment and cabinetry or whatever that was specified. So we'll be happy to do that for you, but many professionals like to have control of what they're doing and collaborate internally before or during the process of developing a technical furniture system design. So what we have, Winsted has an unprecedented design software. It's called WELS. It's an acronym for Winsted Equipment Layout Software. And it's really kind of a have a nice day application. It has limitations, but it's also at the same time it's very, very powerful. I'm going to show you a few things just to introduce you to this. It's a free download. You can draw rooms, lay out your own room with dimensions of your choosing. You can add doors or windows. You can put consoles in the room, have operators. You can show operators in chairs or standing in or around the console. And it's a client-based system. That means all the modules in WELS, for all the modules that you see comprise this console that you're looking at on the display, those are drawn for you in WELS. So with WELS, you can't draw anything that isn't already in WELS. You can design your room, but you can't draw anything. You can just snap our modules together. Are any of you interested in actually designing your own technical furniture for a system? Maybe a couple of people? All right, so I'll try to steer it accordingly. Just to let you, I will take a couple minutes to just kind of run through the basic stuff that we have here. I won't go on. One of the things that this does, and your engineering people are going to want to know about that, so if some of them are not here today, I got a minimal number of hands, and I understand that, saying, hey, I'd be interested in doing this. But with this tool, you can also, anything that you design here can be exported to AutoCAD. And then all your design people who are familiar with CAD with the world of CAD can take that file and integrate it into a floor plan that they may already have drawn out, or through schematic connections in a plan view to show you how it's going to integrate, or for that engineer to show how it's going to integrate into the system. So we have that built in here. You can also, for collaboration, you can create a console design, save it as a JPEG, and it's very easy to do, and then you can send that to somebody for, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And give them a few different layouts and looks for a console system to meet the requirements for what you're trying to do, both in the technical needs, but also in perhaps in your budget. So let me just show you here that one of the things with this, with WELS here, and I've drawn a Peninsula console here. You can go to a room setting here. This is just, you can grab these corners, and if it defaults to 20 by 20 feet, you can make it any dimension you want. Change the size of the box, so forth. I'll just undo that. Give you some ideas. You can also put, so you can view it from the top. You can look at it from different angles and see the back of it. You can either enable the room or not, and if you do, you use the room display. If I just say none, there it is kind of by itself, and here it is with room display. I can say just the floor, and it draws a rubber band outline for where the floor is going to be. That would be like for something if you're going to just do a plan view, but we also can do floor and walls. And with this, you can, and I'll just do a top view here, you can take this whole console and just move it around. So you can move it somewhere in the room. Maybe you wanted to make it wider. Gee, I've got this space over here, so let's go over here and I'll grab, oh, that's a Sightline HD, okay, so that's, we're going to take it here and take another 48-inch bay, and I can just snap it right on. See, I didn't have to have any snap tools like for AutoCAD or whatever. I can just get that module and just drag it in fairly close, and it snaps it automatically. And then I might have something, here's a view, and this changes what it looks like. Oh, I lost my work surface. Well, no problem. So what we'll do is go to work surfaces, and I will choose a work surface type. Okay. So I've added now just a bay on the side. You can put rack mount cabinets underneath the console. These are, you can open and close doors. You can, here's one I had where I've got a CPU, a tower CPU on a shelf in the door, so when you open the door, it doesn't stress out the connectors at the back where the hinges are, but it allows you to access the computer device. And if it's thin clients, you can have, I've had people easily get 6 of them in one of these door shelves. Just to give you an idea what this product can do. You can do, here's a ground up view. If you want to raise these monitors up or down, you can do that. You can change the size of the monitors. You can put images on them. So I put this now in a default mode here, whatnot. You can take this and turn them around, this kind of thing. So you see it's pretty simple because all this stuff just snaps together. You have a library of stuff, and it's really like kitchen cabinets. You have modules, and the modules can be the base units. We have either open and closed bases. We have where we have a peninsula with a bookcase or whatever. It can be with rack mount equipment underneath there. We can have turrets above the work surface right behind it. So if you have annunciators or intercom, something like that, and if you want a turret for a custom annunciator panel, we do those all the time so that you can see that would be within the operator's line of sight and would be easy for them to reach out and touch and see it. So if I take this then and go, I've made these changes here, and I'll just say, okay, well, I want to save this. The default is this design is saved as a WELS file. And as I mentioned, the WELS, the modules themselves actually all exist in the system here. So if I can make like This demo console that I just opened up before we started, the size of the file is 17 kilobytes. That's a text file. That's nothing. So you can send this to someone, and they can open it up on their WELS installation, and they can quickly work with it and give some collaboration back and forth. What about if we move this here, move that there, and so forth? So it's very small. We can save to AutoCAD, we can save to DXF, and both 2 and 3D AutoCAD. If we do a JPEG snapshot, I'll just say Demo JPG 2, because I already had one in there, and I'll just say save, and it gives you the author's name here. So if I just go to that, go down to the desktop, there it is, there's a JPEG of it. And you'll notice both when I'm doing this design and when you look at the JPEG, you see it automatically puts in, as you dynamically make the console larger or smaller, it gives you the width, the depth, and the height of the console. So if you have whatever space constraints you have a very quick and easy to use tool. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to draw something up. You just work with the modules, and if you have a target width dimension, it's very easy to achieve that by using a creative combination of the modules. So you have that feature in the legend at the bottom built in, and that's very helpful. So this is a free software. It is a download from Winsted. Anybody who has any kind of CAD or design experiences, people really love this. And it's like water. If you show a cat water, that's just an old joke, not a joke, but it's an old example. They don't want to go in there. And there are things that you're comfortable with. I like to do a lot of carpentry and electrical and stuff, but plumbing, not so much. Okay, so I might be like the cat in the water if I don't have an aptitude for it and don't want to try. Fine, we'll do it for you. But you give this to somebody on your team that's responsible for the technical design, and if that person does any kind of CAD work, they'll be in there like a duck. And you don't teach ducks to swim. They just do it. I've had people the next day, they download the software, and the next day send me a file that's like, wow, that's very cool. So yeah, a little bit of aptitude is necessary, and everybody's different, but no one has a software like this that has anywhere near these capabilities in terms of alternates out there in the marketplace. And here we don't charge any money for it or not, at all. It's free. It's a free download, and then we'll automatically update you through the interface when a new version is available, and we'll have a list of what's new when you download the update, and you'll be able to see what changes have been made, bug fixes, and all that stuff too. So that's it, just in a nutshell. That's WELS, Winsted Equipment Layout Software. But there is a lot of really cool stuff in here, like doing an ergonomic line of sight profile as to what your particular equipment and systems are going to look like in terms of distance to the display and so forth. There's a lot of cool things like that in here. But this is, for most people, just to be able to go in there and kind of be in the shallow end. If you just jump in and download the WELS and play with it a little bit, if you have a need, you and a couple of your colleagues can get together with it, and particularly if you've got a design department, they will be happy to do this for you. Okay, so questions? But when it comes down to, if I'm an operator and we have some new equipment to solve problems, usually when you upgrade a system or you build a new system, you have a problem you want to solve. And those problems are related to the technology you're putting on this system. And so then you want to be comfortable about, am I going to be able to touch this thing? How often will I have to turn this knob or do whatever? What happens if I want to change the display content? Now, do I have a readily available way for me to reach out and with a touch screen or with a physical interface box? How is that going to meet my needs? And this is the kind of thing that someone who's an operator, you might not they might not be the one to design it, but they're sure going to say there what they don't like about it once you draw it up in the first place, okay? And then you can reconcile that internally.
I was asking, why is it free? First, why is it free?
It's free because we want Winsted people to be able to design their own consoles and systems. Now, you can't draw up a competitor's product with it, technically speaking, but a lot of people do. We have manufacturers who use this. It's not their product or whatnot. We want to make it easy for you as the customer. Why? Because a customer who gets what they want, can control it themselves, is a happy customer. Now, was it another part of the question?
Yes. What differentiates it from SketchUp, which is similar, but I'm not...
It's similar. You can't import an image from something like Visio or maybe some of these drawing programs or whatnot. You can't do that. But you can export. So it's kind of its own little world, okay? Because it's a closed little world, you can't draw it if it's not drawn for you in WELS. But I think quickly, if you're trying to do this, now a lot of sketching programs, there may be things that you can do with it by creating your own stuff that mean that you wouldn't be interested in that in the WELS program for that purpose. But on the other hand, those little sketch programs are not any good at designing a console system. So they're just kind of, different. That's all.